The house next door had been empty for years, a dark, crumbling husk with a yard of overgrown weeds and a perpetually sagging porch. Then one day, a moving truck appeared. I watched from my window as a frail, elderly woman, no taller than 5 foot, stepped out. She was wrapped in a moth-eaten shawl, her back hunched, and her face was a roadmap of wrinkles that seemed to hold 1,000 forgotten secrets. She moved with a slow, deliberate shuffle, her gaze fixed on the ground. Her name, I learned from the mailman, was Mrs. Gable. At first, she was just a quiet neighbor, a ghost who occasionally emerged to tend a few withered rose bushes. But then the strange things began. I'd be in my garden and catch a flash of movement at the edge of my vision. A pale face pressed against the glass of her upstairs window, watching me. When I'd look directly, it would be gone. One evening, I heard a faint sound, a sort of thin, reedy singing, coming from her house. It was a lullaby, but it was off-key and mournful, and it seemed to go on for hours. The sound, thin and wailing, was full of a profound sadness. It made the hairs on my arms stand up. Days later, I was walking past her house when the front door creaked open. Mrs. Gable stood there, her eyes, two pale, cloudy marbles, fixed on me. "Come in," she rasped, her voice like the rustle of dead leaves. "I have something to show you." Against my better judgment, I stepped inside. The air was thick with the smell of dust and something else, something cloying and sweet, like old flowers. The house was filled with dolls, thousands of them. They sat on every piece of furniture, their painted eyes wide and empty. They were old, many with cracked faces and missing limbs, but they all seemed to be staring at me. Mrs. Gable smiled, her wrinkled face pulling into a grotesque grimace. She held a doll in her gnarled hands, its face a perfect miniature of her own. "They get lonely," she whispered, her voice gaining a strange, chilling strength. "They need a friend to play with." I tried to leave, but my feet felt rooted to the floor. The doll's eyes seemed to follow my every move. I could hear their whispers, a soft, papery chorus filling the room. "Stay and play," they seemed to say. "Stay and play with us, forever." The last thing I remember was Mrs. Gable reaching for me, her hands trembling, a triumphant, awful smile on her face. Her eyes, those cloudy marbles, held no kindness. Only a profound, ancient loneliness and the chilling promise of forever.